Hello there, you're on the Heart of Reddit channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Get your popcorn ready and enjoy. Emergency room demanded a review, so I gave them one. Early August 2018, I tried to break up a late-night fight between my cat and my parents' dog, and I lost. Didn't realize at the time just how bad cat bites are, so the next morning, when my hand swelled up, I went to the emergency room, where they gave me antibiotics. I'd been on antibiotics twice already that year, for pneumonia and a UTI, so despite knowing my allergies to both penicillin and sulfa were on my chart, I made sure to request ones I wasn't allergic to, because duh. They gave me sulfa antibiotics and I almost *ed. 2 days later I'm back in the ER and get different antibiotics. I have good credit and would like to keep it that way, so paid off all my bills as soon as I received them. Drama with getting additional bills later, to the point where I called and asked the registrant to go through my account to make sure I had paid everything, and if I hadn't, I would like to pay it over the phone. Cut to months later, when I get some very angry calls from a collections agency trying to collect on the bills I had already paid. It took a three-way phone call between the collections agency, and me to figure it out, but we figured it out. Cut to the past 2 weeks, where I have gotten 10 different emails asking me to review the one email every business day. How did we do? Reminder, give us your feedback. Don't forget to review. So I did, on Yelp, Facebook, and Google, just like they asked. This place almost ***** me, with antibiotics that my medical history clearly states I am allergic to. Then they had the nerve to send my already paid bill from their attempted manslaughter to a collections agency. I'm likely not the only person they've tried to bully into double paying a bill. Now it's a year later and they've suddenly decided to hound me for a review. Paraphrased, you can call me Karen. I had my employees call and wake up my boss every 15 minutes. I supervised a glass manufacturing department. One night we had an issue with a thermocouple that controls the temperature of the glass. Because it was creating nuisance alarms, the operator disconnected it and forgot to notify the next shift to monitor it manually. We lost control of the furnace for a couple of hours, and scrapped product. The plant manager came in that morning screaming and ripped the entire staff a new one. We were trying to explain that the thermocouple needed to be fixed, but instead he continued to yell at us, tell us we were idiots, and told us to monitor it, and notify him every time it went into alarm, or else he would fire us. To further reprimand us, he insisted that we call him at home in the evening every time that temperature went into alarm so he could ensure we were doing our jobs. What he did not know, and what we knew, was that the alarm for the broken thermocouple happened about every 15 minutes. My operator was worried and asked me what he should do. Since the plant manager was so insistent, I told the operator to wait until after midnight, then call and inform him every time it happened according to his direct request. The plant manager came into work the next morning very bleary-eyed, and sheepishly told us that we did not have to do that again. He finally listened to us, and we got the problem fixed. I don't understand that kind of business. So reading some of these reminds me of my time in a plastic manufacturing plant, and how I was told I didn't understand business. We had bought a machine brand new for $750,000 and it was making us a fair amount of money. My bosses didn't want to do the regular maintenance on it though, so as expected it began having issues. I was running the machine one night and noticed it began leaking either oil or hydraulic fluid. Can't remember which. I immediately told my boss we needed to shut it down because not only was the machine getting worse, but it was starting to spray fluid all over the parts. I was told no, this machine had to run or we would lose $500 an hour. I suggested placing the mold in another machine, but I was told no, and further told I didn't understand business. Well, as expected it had more problems, which I reported, but was told they might take the parts despite being covered in the fluid, and not to worry about the machine now spraying fluid like a bad horror film sprays blood. I asked if he was sure they wanted it to keep running. They looked at me, and firmly said yes, so I did. Eventually the grinding sounds hit and the machine shut down. They freaked out a moment trying to fix it, but it was no good. They moved the mold into a different machine, had to rerun all the parts, and remember that $500 an hour they lost for the machine being down. Well, instead of being down 24 to 36 hours costing them about $18,000, the machine was down 3 weeks costing in production $250,000 to $1,000 plus another $45,000 for a new motor. Clearly losing almost $300,000 makes way more sense than $18,000. The right, I don't understand that kind of business.